I applaud anyone from the European markets that are trying to build their business and grow towards Canada. Ontario, in my experience, is one of the greatest places to have a technology startup. There are government programs, there are technology incubators, there are mentors that have gone through and done the path that do make it a lot easier. Hi, my name is Matthew Sachs. I'm one of the co-founders of Peak Power. Peak Power was a Toronto-based clean tech company that develops battery energy storage solutions for commercial and industrial customers. And currently I'm working as a volunteer advisor to help with different startups on their own growth journeys. A lot of the issues facing the energy industry are the same globally. There are problems with peak demand, basically the timing of when people want to use energy. At night, there's no energy issues because demand is so low and supply is high. But on the hottest hours of the year, when everyone wants to use energy, that puts a lot of strains on the grid. So there's a lot of value in people that can forecast these spikes in demand, and for different demand side technologies that can reduce those constraints on the grid. So that can be done through battery energy storage, through solar, through automated thermostats, and there are a lot of other types of demand technologies that can also provide support to the grid. So whether this technology is made in Europe, made in Asia, made in Canada, a lot of them are trying to do the same thing. Increase the uptake of renewables, reduce moments of peak demand, and ensure equitable access to electricity. As an energy company coming to the North American market, it's important to understand that the market is actually quite fragmented, unfortunately. It's not one market, it's not even two markets, Canada and the US. Every province has their own energy market rules, and in the US, every state has their own energy market rules. This does make it a lot more difficult because you have to research each of those markets and in some cases, develop different business models for each of those markets. In our case, what we did was target certain regions geographically that we knew had the best economics for the technology that we were selling. So we were focused on Ontario, California, New York, Massachusetts. You could almost create a triage ranking the areas that have the best economics. So as you grow your business into North America, you have to really think of it on a more local scale, certainly by province and state, in some cases even by utility. You know, every founder has unicorn ambitions that they're going to take over the world. I think that that's necessary, important, and useful because it keeps you going on some times where it gets very draining. You have to sacrifice a lot to be a founder. The reality often doesn't work out quite as you plan, but that doesn't have to be a negative thing either. Sometimes you can have good luck just as easily as bad luck. So I think having a vision of where you want your company to be, but being flexible enough to adjust to changes and to understand that it's not going to work out exactly as you envision is important to be able to manage your own sanity during those periods of growth. In terms of lesson learned, you have to really be flexible as a founder. You have to be humble. Everyone has very strong opinions, and especially in the startup world with founders, with executives, the people that are in the room are people with strong opinions, otherwise they wouldn't be there. And then you get all these very intelligent people with very strong opinions. It can make for some very difficult conversations to reach compromise. So I would say staying humble, staying with an attitude of trying to learn in every situation will really serve you well, and to try and get the most out of situations that could be confrontational, and understand that underneath it all, you all have the same goals. You're trying to grow your business, you're trying to support your clients, you're trying to put out the best product as possible. There are different ways to get there, and it doesn't mean that one way is necessarily right and others are wrong. Sometimes it takes some compromise to get the best results. I applaud anyone from European markets that are trying to build their business and grow towards Canada. Ontario, in my experience, is one of the greatest places to have a technology startup. There are government programs, there are technology incubators, there are mentors that have gone through and done the path that do make it a lot easier. Especially if we're talking about clean technologies or anything with a carbon reduction benefit. Ontario has a strong legacy of support for these types of technologies, which can include non-dilutive grants, R&D support, even staffing subsidies. So I would strongly urge anyone considering it to look at the Ontario market as a great place to grow their business.